Hello students, last time we have studied few of the modes of asexual reproduction, that is fission, budding. Okay. Now we will be learning about the sporulation, gamete formation and fragmentation in detail. Okay. So, let us see what is sporulation. Sporulation is the process wherein there is a formation of cyst, that is cyst is formed around the amoeba during unfavorable conditions. What is cyst? Cyst is a thick walled structure which is formed around the parent amoeba, and once the cyst is formed, this amoeba will multiply for several times inside the cyst till the favorable conditions arises. Once the favorable conditions will arise, the cyst will burst to release daughter amoebae. So, sporulation में क्या होता है exactly? cyst form होता है parent amoeba के आजू बाजू में, and cyst में फिर amoeba multiply होता है, and जैसे ही favorable conditions आते हैं वैसे ही वो cyst breakup होता है, and likewise there is release of many daughter amoebae. Okay. So, sporulation is seen in protists such as amoeba. Now, we will study what is gamete formation. Gamete is the other method of asexual reproduction which is specially seen in thyroid body of liverwort, which is a group of bryophyte. Example of liverwort, that is Mertensia. Mertensia is a bryophyte which is having thyroid body. So, this is the thyroid body, and over this thyroid body asexual multicellular green colored buds are formed, and these buds are green in color and cup shape. So, as they are green cup shape structure, this method is also known as gamete formation, as these cup shape structures are known as gamete cup. So, many such green colored asexual buds which are multicellular are formed over the thyroid body of bryophyte such as liverwort, Mertensia. Then coming to the third type of asexual reproduction, that is fragmentation. In fragmentation what happens? Small pieces of the organism, if they get separated, small pieces means fragments of the parent organism, if they get separated, it will give rise to one new complete organism. So, what is fragmentation? Fragmentation is division of the parent body into two or more fragments, and each fragment will give rise to new individual. Okay. This fragmentation is noticed in many algae such as Spirogyra, then sponges, then some of the cnidarians also show fragmentation method for reproduction. So, in this particular session we have learned what is sporulation, what is gamete formation and what is fragmentation. Sporulation is seen in protist amoeba, gamete formation is seen in liverwort bryophyte, that is Mertensia, and fragmentation is seen in Spirogyra and sponges and many other lower plants as well as animals. So, next point of mode of asexual reproduction is regeneration. What do you mean by regeneration? Regeneration means it is the type of asexual reproduction wherein when any part of the body of organism is lost, same part will be regenerated again. Okay. It is seen in sponges, planaria, hydra and many other lower organisms. Another type of asexual reproduction is spore formation. Spore, what do you mean by spore? How is the spore? Spore is a spherical thick walled structure. There are two types of spores as per the motility. One is zoospore and another one is conidia. Zoospores, zoo. Zoo means what exactly? Motile. Zoology, study of animals. Animals have locomotory organs for locomotion. Here zoospores will have flagella. How are the zoospores? Zoospores are like this. They are having two flagella for locomotion. Okay. So, these zoospores are produced by simple algae, that is Chlamydomonas. Okay. Then another type of non-motile spore which is there, that is conidia. Conidia is produced over the conidiophore in some of the fungi such as penicillium. Then another type of spores as per the type of cell division which is seen in the organisms. Some of the organisms produces mitospores with the help of mitosis. For example, in Rhizophora and many other types of fungi, there is mitosis seen for production of spores. For example, conidia. Conidia क्या है? It is a non-motile spore produced by mitosis in fungi. Okay. Then other type of spore which is produced by meiosis. Meiosis is reductional division. Meiospores are produced by the higher plants such as gymnosperms and angiosperms. Which are the two types of meiospores which are produced by angiosperms and gymnosperms? Microspores, that is pollen grains, and megaspores. Microspores and megaspores are produced due to meiosis of microspore mother cells and megaspore mother cells respectively. Okay. So, we have studied different forms of spores such as zoospores, conidia as per the motility. Zoospores are motile spores seen in Chlamydomonas. Conidia are non-motile spores seen in Penicillium, Rhizophora and many other fungi. Mitospores and meiospores as per the cell division. Mitospores with the help of mitosis seen in many fungi. Example, conidia is the type of mitospore. Then meiospore, there are two forms of meiospore, microspores and megaspores, which are formed due to meiosis of microspore mother cells and megaspore mother cells seen in angiosperms and gymnosperms. So, let us proceed further to the next forms of spores, types of spores as per the thickness of its wall. ओके स्पोर का थिकनेस के हिसाब से दो कैटेगरीज के स्पोर्स है. वन टाइप ऑफ स्पोर इज थिक वॉल्ड स्पोर एंड अदर वन इज थिन वॉल्ड स्पोर. थिक वॉल्ड स्पोर्स मीन्स स्पोर का जो वॉल है वो बहुत ही ज़्यादा थिक रहेगा टू सस्टेन इन अनफेवरेबल कंडीशंस सच एज thick walled spores, which are those total 3 thick walled spores are there. First is hypnospore. Hypnospores are produced by some form of angiosperms. Chlamydospores are produced by Rhizophora, which is one of the group of fungi. And akinete. Akinete is the thick walled spore which is developed in BGA. What is BGA? Blue-green algae. Blue-green algae such as nostoc. Nostoc is a filamentous algae wherein it stores excess amount of food in the form of starch in akinete. What is akinete? It is a thick walled spore which will store more amount of starch to sustain in the unfavorable conditions. Okay. So, thick walled spores we have studied 3: hypnospores, chlamydospores and akinetes. Hypnospores example algae, chlamydospores rhizopus, then akinete example BGA, that is nostoc. Then thin walled spores. Thin walled spores are of 3 types. First is aplanospore, second one is autospore and third one is zoospore. Aplanospore and autospores are non-motile spores and zoospores are motile spores. Aplanospores example you know very well, we have studied several times till now, conidia. Conidia are non-motile spores. Okay. So, thin walled spores and thick walled spores as per the thickness of the wall. Now, we will study further classification or types of spores based on their formation, where they are formed. Either they are formed outside or inside. If the spores are formed outside, such type of spores are known as exospores, and if the spores are formed inside, such type of spores are known as endospores. Exospores again conidia. Conidia where they are formed over the conidiophore. So, this is the stalk like structure over which conidia are formed. So outside we can very well count how many conidia are formed over the conidiophore. Okay, so conidia formed over the conidiophore in many types of fungi. Then second type of spore is endospore. Endospore, which is found inside the body of the organism. Okay, that's why they are known as endospore. You must have studied in biological classification one of the topic, that is classification of fungi. In that, mucor is one type of fungi which produces sporangium. This is the sporangium. Okay, and in the sporangium you can see many spores are formed. So as the spores are formed inside the sporangium, such type of spores are known as sporangiospores. Sporangiospores. So where the sporangiospores are formed? Sporangiospores are formed inside the sporangium. That's why it is endogenous spores. So we have studied many forms of spores as per the motility, as per the cell division, as per the thickness, and as per its formation inside or outside. Okay, so in next lecture we will be learning about vegetative propagation. Thank you.